Hi, welcome to SF Training Solutions. I'm Suhail Farooq and I welcome you today in the video that is in continuation to what we made in the past, and we discussed about these mistakes made by the sales managers during their professional career. Today, the mistake that we are going to discuss is very important and very crucial mistake, and that is acting on too many and often conflicting priorities. We must understand the role of the sales manager, and before we discuss it, the sales manager is somewhere at a place where he is actually interacting with too many people or many departments. For example, he has his own salespeople to deal with, then he has the bosses on the top, then he is interacting with the customers, and of course with all the support departments that are providing him with the resources and the services to deal with the problems he's actually interacting with. So he is right in the middle of so many things, and since there are so many people and so many departments influencing him and setting his priorities indirectly by offering him different tasks, and they have their own needs, and everybody thinks that his needs should be and must be immediately served. So ultimately, when one is dealing with so many people, so many departments, and so many priorities set by the others, it is always very difficult for the sales managers to reorganize and reprioritize his own priorities aligned with the tasks of his own, like his own sales objectives or qualitative objectives that he has to achieve. So ultimately, that he is overwhelmed by so many priorities and needs of the others that his own priorities are actually no more there, and he starts working on everything. He starts fighting on every front, and ultimately, what happens that manager and the team members, they burn out, and of course, since they were working on too many priorities, so the objectives are not achieved. Sales manager starts getting frustrated about his own role and accomplishment as per the expectations, and ultimately, we always discuss that there is a leadership and the employee issues they start developing. So what is the solution to all this? How to deal with this dilemma, how not to interact on so many conflicting priorities and stay on course while setting your own priorities? We all must understand the sales managers, they always try to do the right things, whatever that is, meaning that they know that their job is to improve the productivity and to eliminate all the problems and the hurdles on the job. But then there are others who vie for their time, their energy, and their ability to make decisions. As I said, for example, the customers, they have their needs, and the sales people, they require support. Bosses have their expectations, and other departments, they have their own requests, and everybody wants to be served immediately. So in all this situation, it becomes such what we call it a plate spinning act for the sales managers, and he doesn't really know how to deal with it, and ultimately he tries to do everything by himself and give jobs to the people who are reporting to him without preparing them, and that leads to all that disaster that we discussed at the start of the video. So how to deal with it? In order to deal with it, sales manager must understand how to distill the needs of others and the decision making of the others. What are their needs and what are their expectations? And whatever the needs and the expectations of the other, he must prepare his own people. Everything starts with developing people. So sales manager can only deal with it by ongoing employee development process. He must develop his own team all the time to deal with different smaller effective priorities in order to eliminate this stress that he is under. So once his people are actually able to deal with smaller tasks and smaller priorities given to the sales managers to other departments, sales managers will have more time to work on the real priorities, on the real objectives, and that's how he can set his priorities, reorganize himself, and perform and lead his team effectively and perform according to the expectations of the bosses and meet the objectives. So as I always say, developing the team is the most important thing to deal with this situation, and how to deal with it is the secret lies in the very fact that there must be an ongoing employee development process all the time, and people must be trained in order to deal with all those needs and expectations of the other departments. Say for example, district managers and medical reps are more effective to deal with the problems of the customers. Sales manager himself can deal with the support department since he is the head office person who is based in the field. Similarly, he can ask help from his product managers to deal with or some support material that is required. That is one way of dealing with the situation, but he cannot deal with the situation until his team is developed in a way to deal with all the problems. So in order to reorganize and reprioritize his objectives, sales manager must develop his team. Otherwise, there's going to be a big disaster. I hope that today's video is going to be useful for you and you understand that how to reorganize your priorities and do not get burned out by fighting at so many fronts and working on too many and often conflicting priorities. Thank you very much. Have a great day.